How to scale your e-commerce brand from $0 to $1,000 per day. In today's video, I'm going to give you the exact blueprint for that. We will be going over, the basics, your offer, landing pages, creatives, Facebook account setup, and then how you analyze results and iterate based on that. So it's going to be a super very packed video. So let's get right into it. So first of all, why me? Why should you trust what I'm saying? And over the last, I think 5 or 6 years now, I have managed way over $20 million in ad spend. Here just some of my accounts. This one spent 1.8 million. This one right here spent almost $3 million. And then this one right here spent 2.3 million. So I think that I have some experience when it comes to scaling brands. But yeah, let's start with the basics, because those are obviously the fundamentals, and without the basics, you can't scale up your brand. So let's start with that. First of all, we have margins. What should your margins be like? They should be at least 70%. Whatever you sell minus whatever the product costs you, you should have 70% profit margin. After that, then your AOV, ideally speaking, should be anywhere from like $50 plus. You can definitely succeed with lower AOVs, if you have your margins in place. But it's just harder because you can't spend as much on acquiring a new customer, right? Then we have the conversion rate. Obviously, this depends on your AOV. Look into your industry benchmarks. Look what good conversion rates are. Generally speaking, I think earnings per visitor or EPV is more important, and that should be anywhere from like $2 to $4 per visitor. So if somebody is visiting a site, and on average, if somebody visits, you're making $2, you're in the green area. Kind of keep that in mind with your AOV and with your conversion rate. As long as you're making $2 to $4 back, you're good to go. Then what is kind of the success formula looking like if you want to succeed? That's essentially kind of offer plus landing page plus creative equals success. So if you have all these three in place, then you're good to go. If you obviously struggle with any of these, if you have a bad offer, that leads to people not converting, which equals to a low conversion rate, and then you won't have success even with the best creatives. So you need to make sure that all of these three are in place if you want to grow your ecom brand. So I would say we start at the offer, because I think offer is super simple to go over, and there's many free offers that you can test at the start. I'm going to explain to you how you can test that in just a little bit, but for now keep in mind that there are like 3 offers that in my opinion you can start with. And first of all, that's just the normal offer. Just basically no sale going on, no bundles, no nothing, just your basic product price, maybe slightly discounted, but just generally speaking, just your normal product price, right? Then you have the free gift, which is essentially if they either cross a specific AOV, like card value, or just in general, if you have a very more expensive product, you can offer like a free gift on top of that. So either spend $90 a day and get a free pair of whatever, of socks, or maybe you're selling an iPhone, and your free gift would be like a phone case worth like $99, which they get for free if they purchase today, right? So that would be the free gift offer. And then we obviously have the bundle, which is more, especially if you're selling like apparel or something like this. Let's say you're selling underwear. Maybe you have like an offer of, buy 2 pairs of undies and get your third one 50% off. This would be bundling, giving a discount, emphasizing also on getting the AOV up, right? If you're selling, let's say, 1 pair of undies, which cost, the customer $15, the way that you get to that $50 AOV, which we talked about, is by, have them buy 4 pairs, get them another one for free. Then, 4 times 15 would be $60. So you're at the $50 AOV mark. You're above that, right? So those, in my opinion, are the 3 main offers that you should try out when it comes to scaling up the brand. Depending on your AOV, I think bundling will work best for most of you. But keep in mind that also just having a normal offer with no discounts going on can definitely work. I think more important is the part when we go over landing pages, right? Because landing pages can really make a difference in conversion rate of your brand. So obviously, first things first, you should follow all best practices. So first landing page is quote unquote just your normal product page, right? I have a very good one in my opinion, and this is from Obvi, and they're selling like collagen. And what I like about this product page is, first of all, they have auto ship, so they have automatic subscription turned on automatically, and you can basically just choose when you want to deliver it. You can also turn it off, but you know what's on by default, most people won't turn it off, right? Most people probably will get this as a subscription. And you know the add to cart button is huge, and you can definitely see it. Then you have some trust icons. You know, you have more trust right here. Then you have benefits. You have more trust, and you know why you need collagen, right? And why it helps you, and then why obviously better than their competitors. And I think this is a very straightforward product page. You have again a clear add to cart button. You have social proof, more social proof, why you need X, why somebody needs your product, explained in a clear, easy to understand way without a lot of text. And then, kind of a comparison chart as an us versus them. And, then you have the ingredients that are in the collagen, right? So I think this is a great product page setup, generally speaking. Obviously, then you have more reviews at the bottom. And if you are just, complete beginner and you're just building out your product page, obviously, take a look at competitors within your market. But I think Obvi did a great job at building this product page. That's why I chose it. So definitely take a look at their product page if you need inspiration. So this would be kind of the first landing page that you could try out. Again, we will be going over how to test that in just a little bit. But the second thing is, which I think every brand should try out, is just like a 5 reasons or 3 reasons why page, and that is first of all super simple to create. And acts as kind of a pre-sale page, but it's definitely good at kind of getting people into the funnel and also at converting them, right? So 5 reasons why you need to try Jones Road Beauty if you love a no makeup look, right? And then they give 5 reasons with like beautiful product images. And don't just take our word for it. Then they add some social proof, and then what they do is redirect somebody to a quiz, because it's like a little bit customized, right? So if you're selling anything, there's obviously reasons as to why people want to purchase their product, or at least why you think people want to buy your product, right? If you are selling socks, maybe they don't slip off. If you're selling undies, maybe they have like an extra comfort feature. Maybe they make you, to stop sweating. I don't know, right? Just take your benefits and put them on a page, and literally that's the whole page, right? It's super simple to create, and it's definitely, first of all, good at kind of making people know your product and know why people chose your product. Maybe it's not as good as converting as, for example, a product page or the next line page that I'm going to go over, but it's good at bringing people into the funnel, and then people will understand why your product is maybe superior to others within your market, right? Within your niche. Then the next one is just a super basic landing page, and the setup on these is pretty basic. So we have a benefit statement at the top, kind of a little bit like your homepage. We have some more benefits, some social proof, then a call to action, then more social proof, then why you need this, basically 3 reasons why, just not as their own landing page version, and then more social proof, and then like a buying section, right? This is how typically, and then you have the reviews. This is typically, this one right here is extra, but this is typically how landing pages, I call them basic landing pages, are created, right? So these can also be great at getting people or converting people. Maybe you don't have success with a great product page. Maybe 3 reasons why it doesn't work either. And then, you try out just a basic landing page, which focuses very much on the benefits plus social proof. This definitely does a better job at kind of conveying the value of the product, at least in my opinion, than a product page could ever do. So think about this as a first touch point. I think the product page is also more like intimate. It's more of like a buying environment, like shop now, but this is more of like educational also, educates people on the product, tells them why it is better than competitors, for example. So, also if you're a new brand, even if you don't have a lot of social proof, I highly recommend that you try something like this out, especially with the free returns, free shipping, whatever, made you special, made with bound plastics, ocean bound plastics, whatever makes your brand special, just list it here. You don't need to have like any features in any magazines to build a landing page like this, right? You can seriously just have like 5 reviews, a couple of benefits, boom, you have a great landing page. So that would be the next step, Again, we will go over testing in just a second, but basically you need to have a great offer. Try any of the 3 that I just mentioned, and then you need to have a great landing page. Product page, 3 reasons why, basic landing page, boom. So those are the first kind of things that you need to have in place. And then the next thing are creatives. And this is where it gets a bit more in-depth, I would say. So we're gonna start at the top, and that is to collect. First of all, before you really build a creative, think about why people want to buy your product, and what kind of makes your product special, and obviously all the kind of stuff. And to do that, you need to collect, in my opinion. And that is, take a look at your reviews, write down all of your benefits, and write down what makes your product stand out. And I like to use ChatGPT for that, at least as a kind of supporting act and helping me gather all that information. So what I like to do is I just open ChatGPT, and then for example, let's assume that we are selling this right here, and you got your first couple of reviews. So what you do is just copy the reviews, paste them in here. I haven't done this before for this brand. So I'm just gonna copy the reviews. Just gonna take the 5-star ones. And then what I'm gonna tell ChatGPT is, the following are reviews for a collagen brand. Give me 5 reasons as to why people are buying the product for collagen. And then ChatGPT is going to give you 5 reasons as to why people are buying that, based scanning on that. Weight loss, and then increased energy, and then reduce appetite, and positive mood. And the 5th, we have recommendation from others. Some people are purchasing based on the recommendation. Okay, so this is not really a reason, but you have now 4 top reasons as to why people are buying the product. And obviously, the more reviews kind of put into the system, the more accurate reasons you're going to get. But let's take weight loss, increase energy, reduce appetite, and positive mood for now, right? Now just close all of these pages. Now you know why people basically buy your products, right? And then the kind of next step is, that you analyze competitors, right? I use a tool called foreplay.co. It's, you can save Facebook ads with that. I'm just going to show you that in a second. But, basically what I want you to analyze is, what are competitors using? Image versus video, visuals. What kind of visuals are they using, especially the B-roll footage that they are using? And what type of music are they using? Is it like energetic? Is it sad? Is it relaxing? And then the benefits that they mention, for example, if you would be selling collagen and, these would be your benefits, take a look at competitors and see, do they focus on weight loss? Do they focus on increased energy levels? What do they really focus on? And then the creators, what creators are they using? Are they like, age 50 plus? Are they young? Are they most likely male or female? What creators are they using? What age range, etc. And then the hook, what hooks are they using? Obviously, the most important part for your ad is the hook. So what hooks are they using? Is it more of like a product intro hook? Is it more of like a storytelling hook? Whatever it is, kind of write it down. So let's open this link right here. And this is an example for Pet Labs, right? So if let's assume that we are selling so this is an example from Pet Labs. So let's assume that we are selling supplements for dogs, right? And we would not be getting into that, and that is one of our competitors. Pet Lab, obviously a very big brand, but what we can kind of go in here and dive deep into is analyze, and then first of all hook, then what benefits, and the music, and all of the visuals, right? So let's take a look at this. Dog itching, he's stiffening joints, joint soreness. So a lot of them advertise joint soreness, right? Obviously, need to take a deeper look into this, but just from looking at this, first things first is joint stiffness. So what I would do is take a look at this ad. I'm just going to turn off the music, so I can't really do the music stuff. But this looks very sad to me. Like the dog is not really moving. Like he's kind of wanting to get him to move because you're putting on the line, right? So this would give me kind of a sad vibe, like a sad intro. And then also focus on made our dog stop on walks, right? Again, what I was kind of saying, kind of comparing or having the visuals and then pairing that with text, right? So obviously joint soreness seems to be one of the things that they're advertising. Here also, dog that's kind of barking, looking sad, and also how the text appears is rather emotional, because it's just kind of fading in and then fading out, which usually has sad videos have that. Here again, dog can't move. He's just kind of being still, which is not typical for dogs. So what I would take out of this is, have a sad angle, be very kind of shocking, emotional. People love their dogs, and what seems to be working for them at the very least is being shocking and having those sad images that people definitely don't want to have with their dogs, that they can't move on walks. I would assume it's a very emotional topic for dog owners, so they are capturing that, and they're very, very shocking with that. And then just a lot of the footage is going on kind of storytelling. Dog couldn't move, his joints were failing him, so this is very storytelling like. So I would write that down. It's very storytelling ad. Same for this one, and then same for this one, very storytelling like, just like plain images where he's like really like slow moving or not moving at all, very shocking. So that's what I would write down, and then they also begin introducing the product. So that's what I would write down. Long ad. Also take a look. This one is very long. This one is not as long, but definitely 30 seconds is on the longer time frame of an ad, in my opinion. Same for this one, 57 seconds, 54 seconds, 54, 54. So what I would write down: long ad, shocking, emotional, sad music, storytelling. Right. So now I have a good feeling of what I need to recreate when it comes to selling my dog products, right? I need to be emotional. I need to have like a storytelling ad. It can definitely be longer, because otherwise they wouldn't be running those ads, right? And yeah, that's basically what I mean by kind of analyzing competitors. And also, as you can see, they're basically only running videos, right? So this could be either a point for you to start running ads and be like, okay, my competitor isn't running images. I can definitely try them. I can kind of put my storytelling into an image, and that's worth a shot. But also it's worth noting, they are a big brand. They're not running any image ads. So is it worth running image ads for me, right? You still don't know for sure. You still got to test, but you gain this, kind of a slight understanding. And you may want to start with video ads compared to image ads, right? And then, foreplay.co is called the tool that I was using. And then, what a ton of ads for all niches and find things that you can implement. Generally speaking, even if you're selling for dogs, for example, you want to take a look at the biggest brands in the e-commerce space and analyze their ads in terms of what shots are they using, what cuts are they using, is there any other cut that you can kind of implement into your brand, what kind of specific visuals are they using? Are they using like infographics, or is it just all UGC or whatever? Like, take note of that, right? That's super, super important. Right. So now that you've kind of collected your benefits, which benefit you should focus on, right? So let's assume that for our collagen example, everybody is kind of advertising the increased energy levels, right? People are finding that they have more energy for workouts and daily activities, right? And let's assume that our competitor is advertising that. So now you go into scripting, right? There's two ways of how you can script. First of all, the paid one is milano.com. It's more of a visual board. And then the second one, the base one, is one which I got from a good friend of mine. And this is how they brief their content creators. And this is just a sample doc. It's super simple to implement for you. It's completely free. You can get the link. You can get it at the first link in the description. But basically what this does, you have short type. So this could be like B-roll, could be voiceover, or could be hook. That's how I like to structure it. B-roll, voiceover, hook. Those are my most important parts. Then you have what they are supposed to say. Put it in quotation marks like, I love this product. I don't know. And then the action that they're supposed to be doing, run around outside or like look into the camera. I don't know. This is for you, basically. Kind of you brief the content creator, and then the post-production part is if you are doing the editing yourself, I don't know, or if you have an editing team, but it's basically for the editing team. What do you need to do in post-production is, are there any ideas that you have with this clip in mind? For example, maybe it's like, green screen, make this green screen, remove background, only keep face, right? This is typical, if you have like a green screen effect, if you want to do that, obviously this would be for post-production, but just so that you don't forget your idea where you created, right? You want to be as specific as possible. And yeah, I think that this is a, great briefing tool. It's not complicated. And then you basically have the shots, 1B, 1C, and this, those are typically my hooks. And then we have 2A, which could be like a B-roll, and then you name all of the B-rolls, which could be 2A, 2B, 2C, 2D, etc. And then maybe like your 3A, 3B are like voiceovers, right? And this is how you kind of really, build a great script for your UGC ad. And yeah, this is essentially how we brief our creators. So nothing special. Okay, so when it comes to sourcing creators, where do you find creators? You've collected benefits, you've analyzed competitors, you've wrote your first script based on the collection and on the analyzing. So how do you source creators? So a few things. Instagram, there are a lot of UGC creators out there. Just DM them. They would probably be happy to work with them. Usually the rates are a bit higher and the quality is so, I guess. Backstage.com is what we mainly use. It's just a tool where actors can kind of advertise themselves, and you just create a job. It's kind of like Fiverr, or kind of like Upwork, or like onlinejobs.ph, where you create a job offer and they can apply to it, and you can select whoever you want. Usually these tend to be better quality because the actors know how to go with their emotions, whereas most UGC creators, from my perspective, have not a good understanding of how to be authentic in front of the camera, and typically actors do. You obviously also have the choice of going on Twitter, also a good platform for finding UGC creators. And then you can also film for yourself and then by voiceovers, right? That's also a way, if you don't have a lot of budget, I would highly suggest you film yourself and then just get voiceover on Fiverr. That's probably a good way, right? And then for building the creative, what are others doing? So for example, if I would be building a creative for my dog supplement brand, I would, take a look at how, first of all, their ads are structured. And, with this one, let's go to the top again, the one which I just kind of went over. So for example, here, kind of the text fades in. So I probably maybe copy that, right? The text fades in, sad music, boom, got a general theme going on. And start very storytelling, like keep it longer than 50 seconds, right? And then keep it simple, stupid. You want to have a clear value proposition, and you don't want to over edit, you don't want to overdo. It's your ad is simply a combination of like text overlays plus B-roll footage, right? Essentially that's what your ad is. And your script, obviously your hook does gets people hooked in, but then your script does all of the selling, or at least your script is supposed to say to keep them throughout the whole video, and then at the end you have like your call to action, which makes people go onto your website, right? That's how simple it is to build your creatives. There's you can build your creatives with let me just write that down. Probably CapCut, that's a free video editor, or Premiere Pro, that's what we use. Obviously you have to pay for that, but that's probably the best option if you have some budget. But other than that, CapCut is free. You can definitely build great UGC videos out of the existing content that you have with CapCut. So that's how really easy it is to get great creatives. Obviously, if you really want to go deep into copywriting, into becoming an expert at this, it takes way more time. But to get basic UGC creatives, so kind of scale your brand from 0 to 1,000, essentially, that's really all you need. You don't need to be a top level like copywriting expert. You don't need to like read any books, in my opinion. Just copy, or not copy, be inspired by what others are doing and then create something similar. Especially if you're the creator of your brand, you usually have like some emotional attachment to it, so you can create great scripts better than probably most agencies can ever do, right? But yeah, that's how we come up with great creatives. And then next thing is the Facebook account setup, right? You've created different landing pages, you've created different offers, you've created different creatives. So how do you test those, right? First things first. First of all, we're gonna go over the account setup in just a second, but always turn dynamic creative on, right? And then budgeting is super important because you want to keep your ads running throughout the whole month, ideally, right? You don't want to run the ads for like 2 days and then turn them off. You want them to run for like 30 days straight. Obviously, not always the same ads. You want to make changes. That's what I want to go over in just a second. But the budget that you can waste, divide that by 30, and that's your daily budget. If you have $500 a month to waste, and that divided by 30 is like 17 something, 67, something around that mark, then that's not a lot of budget and you can't test a lot with that, but it's better than running ads at $50 for like 3 days, get panicked and then turn them off. So whatever you're comfortable with losing, divide that by 30, and that's your daily budget. The more the better, and I would probably estimate that you need at least $30 a day on the very, very minimum level, and that's not a whole lot of budget. But even if you can only afford to lose $10 a day, that's better than having $0 to test with, in my opinion, right? And then you want to have 2 tests at the same time at max. And then targeting is broad targeting, so no age, no kind of interest targeting, no age range. So 18 to 65 age range, men and women as a gender, and then automatic placements. That's super, super important. You want to keep you want to give the algorithm the best room to breathe, and that is by broad targeting, right? If you're running lookalikes, audience stakes, whatever, you can go into that later, even though I'm not a big fan of it. But especially at the start, you want to have a constant also when it comes to testing, and that's why you need to have broad targeting, because you always use broad targeting for testing, and you will get the most stable results with that. Because also, let's assume that you are selling dog toys, for example, right? You maybe change your interest groups from time to time if you're running interest groups testing, and then if you're getting better results, does it come from the interest targeting or does it come from the creative, whatever you're testing, right? You don't really know that. That's why important the audience or the targeting is always stay a constant. But the best constant that you can use is broad targeting, so no targeting, right? And the first tests are always keep it simple. You don't want to overcomplicate things. Its first test could be image versus video. Maybe you have a video which focuses on increased energy, and you have a benefit in an image as well which focuses on increased benefit, increased energy. You just test them against each other and see what converts better, what gets you better results, and then you get a first glance of what's working for you. Is it images or is it videos, right? And you do that 2-3 more times. Let's say you run this test and you see, our images are working better for me here. You do the same test for weight loss, and you see images working better again, and then reduce appetite, you see images working better again, and then you can maybe focus on images in general compared to videos, right? But, keep the first test as simple as possible, because you want to get more no's than yeses, right? If an ad doesn't convert, that's not bad. You just want to make sure that, it doesn't convert, analyze why it doesn't convert, and then you kind of want to cut that off your testing, right? So if you run an ad that focuses on positive mood, but it gets like super bad results, then okay, positive mood probably isn't the best benefit that I should focus on, right? But yeah, keep it simple. Then, how to test within Facebook is, first of all, you have a CBO campaign. Why CBO? So CBO focuses, works with the algorithm, and you get better results. So let's assume you're testing those 2, and this one gets like 90% of the budget. And you're running, my other test isn't getting any budget. I can't really test this way. That's false, because Facebook knows that this ad set 1 is getting better results. Therefore, it focuses all on the budget on ad set 1. So if one ad set isn't getting any spend, it just means that this one isn't simply good enough, right? And again, same, only 2 tests at the same time. Also depends on budget. I would say if you're having a $100 plus budget per day, you can afford to do 2 tests. If you're below 100, I would probably focus on 1 test per time only, right? And how tests are structured, what I would highly advise you to do is, first of all, focus on creatives first. Creative testing is the most important part. Forget headlines, forget ad copies. I would suggest super generic headlines, right? So what I mean by this is, you're selling dog supplements. Let's just go here. Dog supplements. Headline could be supplements for dogs. As simple as that. And the reason for that is, this headline is very neutral, so it can't really repel a lot of people, but it can also get a lot of people in. It's more neutral. But if you're experimenting around with headlines, you can also be on the downside. You can repel a lot of people because people don't like your headline. But if you have a neutral headline and neutral copy, the difference that comes is definitely from the creative. So if something's working, it comes from the creative. If it doesn't, it's obviously the creative is bad, right? And that's why you want to keep your headline and ad copy generic at first. You can go into headline and ad copy testing later on, in my opinion. Most important thing is the creative, because it makes like 80% of the difference, and you don't want to focus on these like 20% on the headline or ad copy level. And then put a maximum of 3 creatives per ad set. So what your setup should look like is you have ad set 1, test 1 with broad targeting. So everything is the same. You have dynamic creative turned on, automatic placements, open gender, open age range, yeah, that's how broad works. And then you have 3 creatives in here, and these could be these should be grouped by concept. That's super important to say. Let me write that down. Creatives are grouped by concept, right? So we definitely want to always test something against each other, right? So if you are, for example, copy, just let me go here, image versus video, for example. Or could be also benefit 1 versus benefit 2. So if maybe you have 2 different, or ideally you would have 3 creatives, aka 3 different hooks. So maybe you have an ad that focuses on weight loss, and then an ad that focuses on increased energy, right? And you have 3 different hooks for each of these ads, and then you test weight loss versus increased energy levels. Which one does perform better? And that's how simple your test should be structured, right? Again, 3 creatives only per test, and then really that's how simple your creative testing setup should be like. And at first, when it comes to testing, start with a PDP, focus on creative first, start with PDP. Then if you have like a winning creative which performs better than all of the others, then go the offer, and then LP. I would do LP testing last because it also takes the most amount of time. You really need to get some targeted traffic behind that in order to make a decision on whether that landing page is good or not. And you can do that faster with the offer, because obviously if you have a product page with like a standard offer, and then you introduce bundles and your conversion rate or your AOV shoots up, your conversion rate stays the same, you have a winner, right? But with like landing pages, it takes a lot more time. You need to analyze heat maps, etc., etc. So that's more advanced, really. So I would focus, start with the product page and with a basic offer, and then go into offer testing second. So once you've found something that almost breaks even, or is just about to break even, or is like better, at least better than the others, then you can do offer testing, right? And now I would say let's get into how to analyze the results and how to iterate your results. So first of all, most important thing, always track everything. Except or even at the beginning, when you're adjusting the budgets, track that. You can kind of forget about tracking your budgets later on because you're doing so many budget changes, but keep track of everything. Build hypotheses, right? So you can also find that sample sheet down below in the description, but this is one of our sample sheets. Don't overcomplicate things, super, super simple. You have a date when you do the change, or when you got the idea, then when that idea went live. Then the idea / change, for example, it could be running video for benefit 1. And then change, launch a new ad set. Hypothesis is, most people are commenting that they love benefit 1 about our product, thinking it'll outperform benefit 2. Boom, it's as simple as that. And then just after a couple of days, after the test has run, you just take a result note. Benefit 1 outperformed benefit 2 by almost 50%. And you would take this as a win, right? And this is how you keep track of everything, because then also if you do like image versus video, if you test benefit 1 versus benefit 2, you just look back, what did I test? What was my hypothesis? And was I right or was I wrong, right? So if you tested this and benefit 1 was like super bad, that benefit 2 performs better, and you don't need to redo the test in the future anymore because benefit 1 just isn't as performing as benefit 2, right? So keep track of every single test. That's super, super important. And when it comes to analyzing, this is more, on the hard side of things, because you need to get a sense of, noticing patterns. Is benefit 1, if it's a video or an image, doesn't matter. If it is always getting you good results, then you should maybe focus more on benefit 1 and go more into the creative side of things, which is, going more into different kind of hooks, different kind of visuals, different kind of B-rolls, different kind of scripts, which focus on benefit 1. Or is it maybe that a specific script formula always works? Maybe you always have like problem, like are you struggling with, maybe if you go back to this example, maybe you have 4 different benefits. Maybe you're selling, itchy dog. Let's say you're also selling stuff for itchy, that prevents itching, and then you sell this stuff for joints, right? So maybe it's a specific script formula that always seems to work. And is it, itchy dog, listen to this. Dog doesn't walk, listen to this. Maybe it's something like this, which is a pattern which you can use all over again. I think the best example for this is, let's just take a quick look at this, is probably Dr. Squatch. Because if you take a look at their brand, how they structure their ads, or most of the ads, is they have kind of this second headline at the top. I like to call it second headline because it's very much like a second headline, right? Why this soap was created for men. These are my top 3 products I can't live without. They don't really focus on the same benefits, but what they've noticed is, the same intro sequence seems to work. This is visually appealing. Same for this one. It's like almost the same intro sequence, right? They found a hook which works, they found a pattern, and then at the top they have, these are my top 3 products I can't live without. What this soap was created for men, and then 3 sexy scents that will make me jump him. This is more of a gifting ad, for example, and this one is probably more focused towards men. But they still have the same kind of text overlay, second headline. They have the same intro sequence, same hook, just as different visuals, right? So maybe you find that pattern and then you just copy that. So that's super, super important. It's not really, I think, a skill that you can teach, but and then when it comes to iterating, what you got to do is just be creative. Think creatively. If you have a hook that doesn't work, how can you improve that hook? Or if you have a hook that works and nobody's converting, why could that be? Is there like a mismatch between landing page and hook, or landing page and ad? What is going on there? So that's, I think, the only part that you can't really teach. I think the most important part is, build hypotheses always and track everything. And then these 2 things come on their own. But I think this is really how you scale up your ads. You have your basics in place. You have a great offer, or you start with great creatives. Then you build your great offer around that. Then you build a great landing page around that great offer with a great creative. You just follow this simple testing setup in your CBO campaign, and then you analyze, track everything, and that's how simple it is to really scale up your brand. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please leave a like and subscribe, and I would see you in the next one.